Hey guys, this is Not Lammers of Invoked 101, and today I'm doing an updated Vendread deck profile. This is using some new cards out of Cybernetic Horizon, and real quick, some of the cards that you'll see in this deck profile are going to show up in the Demise deck profile I'm working on soon. That will happen soon. I just need to figure out my ratios for it. But until then, some of that stuff is going to pop up in the Vendread deck, and if you want to see this deck in a duel, I'll happily put that up and organize and get that ready for you guys. Probably put it up against Speed Droids, as that's the other deck that is being that I think is uploaded around the same time as this one. So let's of course take away the extra deck and spells, and let's talk about monsters. So of course, for our rituals, we're playing 3 Vendread Slayer, or Revendread Slayer, right? Yep, Revendread Slayer, just probably the titular card of the deck, the main guy, your main ritual, just a very good card overall. So we're playing 3 of him, and then we're playing 3 other ritual monsters. We're playing 1 Vendread Chimera, which people tell me not to play, but I like Chimera, so you guys can like stop talking and telling me not to play it. 1 Battle Lord, which for some reason people agree is really good, even though I think he's kind of bad. And then 1 Executor, which I think is probably the second best one next to Slayer, except you can't pre-prep him. But yeah, so those are the ratios we're playing. This one's pretty, all of these become super easy to summon with the new stuff. So yeah, just very nice little things. And now everything is searchable now, which is like super great. So let's pack up the rituals, and we'll talk about the rest of the Vendread cards in the deck, or at least the rest of the Vendread monsters in the deck. So set those to the side. And so we're playing 2 Stridge. Probably one of the better Vendread monsters in the deck, so 2 Stridge, and then 1 Revenance, because he's basically on demand with the Vendread Charge card. I personally think that he only needs to be played 1 because you're only ever summoning him for his on-field effect, or like when he's sent off. 1 Vendread Core, which is one of the better ones because it's a level 1, and I'll explain why it's better in a little bit. And 1 Anima, which Anima could be another copy of Core. Honestly, that's probably the better ratio. So, yeah, and I'll talk about why I prefer these ones over the rest of them in a little bit. I actually don't mind Stridges, but I'll talk about, like I said, I'll talk about why the level 1s are a bit more important in a moment. But that's it for the Vendread stuff, so let's talk about our zombie engine that we're playing. So we're playing 3 Shiranui Solitaire, because you kind of have to. And then we're playing 3 Mizuki, because Mizuki is really good, just general good zombie support. And then we're playing 2 Unizombie to round out our Shiranui engine right here. Well, not Shiranui engine. And we're also playing the Spectral Sword. So Spectral Sword just lets you synchro from the graveyard with the ritual monsters and stuff like that. So that, you know, that's nice. And then this is just revival. So, but yeah, there's the zombie engine that we're playing to make Omega, to make just Shogun, all that kind of good stuff. So, and lastly for monsters, we are playing 3 Plant and 3 Candle. So what these guys do is they both have very similar effects, and so I'll just tell. So they say reveal 1 ritual monster. One of them says reveal a ritual monster, and the other one says reveal a ritual spell. And then what you do is you special summon that. You special summon it, and then you summon the other one out of the deck. And whenever they're summoned out of the deck, they search either a ritual monster or a ritual spell. And I don't. This one and Plant searches ritual monster. Searches a ritual monster. Searches a ritual monster and requires you to reveal 1, and this one searches a ritual spell and requires you to reveal 1 to summon it. So the reason that the level, this guy actually fulfills the requirement entirely for Vendread Slayer, which is extremely nice. So using him and him in tandem, and if you have another ritual spell in your hand, you can actually potentially Xe summon twice if you have another level if you have another monster with a level. So just a very nice little thing to get your stuff on the field, but it does lock you out of the extra deck while they are on the field. So, but yeah, Plant and Candle are pretty good. So they just help the deck's consistency. They fix some of the issues with the deck, and actually you could just play all ritual monsters for Vendreads at this point. So let's talk about the spell cards. So we're playing, for our ritual spells, we are playing 3 Revendread Origin, just, you know, the one that we can pre-prep. That's this one. It also protects Executioner, and Slayer, so There we go. Then we're playing 2 Vendread Evolution. This is just lets you use Vendreads out of the deck. So core. So using this is actually really good because you can use this. If you have this in your hand, you can use this and Candle, and then Striges from the deck to summon Slayer. So, you know, that's what's good about it. And that's it for the ritual spells, because Vendreads don't have a lot of ritual spells because Konami doesn't love them. That's right, I said it. Konami doesn't care about Vendreads. Just like what Kanye said about George Bush or whatever. 3 pre-prep because we want to see pre-prep. But now we have pre-prep the monsters, which is really cool. And the Impcantations only get better with time in Soul Fusion. But yeah, so 3 pre-prep and 2 prep, because even though it's at 3, I'm playing 2 because, actually, you know what, probably play 3 of these. But yeah, so, I like it. I like it. It just recovers your ritual spells, essentially. So, very nice. Doesn't search Executor, though, so that's the unfortunate part. But we can search him. We can search him, which is good. Then I'm playing 2 Allure to draw cards. I'm playing 2 Vendread Charge to summon the tiny Vendreads out of the deck. This card should have been so much better. And then 1 Burial from a Different Dimension to recover banished stuff. This used to be at 2, but now it's at 1. Because it doesn't really need to be at more. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. I think the main deck is actually pretty solid right now. The Incantations definitely help with some of the ritual stuff. And I actually might make a Vendread Demise deck, as I don't quite know what to fill in with the Demise stuff, and using the Vendreads might be a nice little bolster, as Executor is an 8, so maybe there's something there, I don't know. But yeah, so let's talk about extra deck. So for our extra deck, which, you know, I always get judged when I talk about the Vendread extra deck, because I never read it, because you don't really have to go into it. So 3 Samurai Saga, which, even though I've deck profiled this deck a ton of times, still don't know what it does. Still don't really care what it does because I never summon it. 2 Shogun Saga, which I actually do know what he does. He banishes a zombie when he's summoned, and he gains attack points until the end of the turn. That's the important part, so, you know, that's good. He gets really big. And then for our level 10 is Sun Saga, and I still don't know what he does, but he's really big. So I believe he shuffles zombies with 0 defense back, if I'm right. So that's it for the Shiranui synchros, and then we'll talk about the other synchros, which is Black Rose Dragon and Omega. So board wipe, recover banish stuff, and also knock stuff out of the opponent's hand. So there we go. That's it for the synchro monsters. For Exes, I'm running Lancelot, Hope Harbinger, should be Hope Harbinger, Black Ship of Corn, because I don't know. They're just in here. You guys have seen this extra deck before, but when you haven't seen it, that card doesn't need to be in here, is Vampire Sucker. Vampire Sucker is really good. It's the zombie link monster. It summons you get to draw a card whenever a zombie is summoned from the graveyard, so if you ritual summon a dude from the dead, if you Mizuki someone back, if you summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard to run into a Slayer to get its effect off, you get to draw a card. It's just a good card. I like it. And that is it for Vendreads. Once again, this deck comes to a close. But yeah, I love Vendreads. I think Vendreads are a deck that deserved better than what they got. I am excited to see what their Link monster is. I am. Unfortunately, I don't think they really needed a Link monster. I would have preferred a main deck monster. But you know what? With the Incantations, maybe this Link monster won't be a bad thing. Maybe it'll actually be something that helps the deck refill its hand and be something that Vendreads need. Because like we saw, what was it? Spiral Double Helix really flipped that entire deck around. So maybe the Vendread Link monster will do the same. But anyways, as always, tell me what I can do to improve this deck, and I'll see you guys in the next video.